okay and when it isn't.
Don't worry about it. All right. So finish up with your son, Jim.
Yeah.
And then, so now you deal
And
with
well, he went into business.
Mm-hmm.
You're off. You're off.
Don't worry about
That's
that.
it.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
We just continue.
He went into business and did very well and was going along fine. And then the world ended and he got clopped financially. And then he came back and started all over again and doing fine now again.
Mm-hmm.
And doing much better, I think, because he's more patient maybe.
So how do you get on with him and all that sort of stuff?
I think we get along fine. I think at one time he wasn't convinced that I like to call him, but I tried to make up the point that, yeah, I want to call him. I hate to bother people when they're working. And so he said, bother me. So I try to call him more often than not. I will do even more now because he's retired. So I can call him more often and like that. But he's been very helpful to me in what he's been able to give me advice and counsel. And I love talking to the market with him because he's actually an actual person who knows what he's doing in the marketplace, mostly.
Yeah, probably not, but okay. Beverly. Think of Beverly as
Beverly Ann
child
Stein,
and baby
yeah.
and child and
Yeah.
so on. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts? What are your
Yeah, a very nice lady has come to be. She has a tough veneer that is very sensitive and reacts to it quite a bit as a person. And she's mellowed out over time, but at one point there, she just doesn't want to talk to you. She doesn't come. Somebody else who was very bad in that regard is my sister. She is. I'm not super enamored of my sister in terms of calling her every 10 minutes, but when I do call, she never calls back, and she doesn't. Anyway, I'll stay with Beverly. Beverly responds, and she's done very well. She had a miscarriage, and she had a poor marriage, and she's come out of both of those with a very nice young man, and done nicely with him, and is growing, and she has 2 nice daughters, and that was a terrific strain for her. She just wasn't contemplating that she could have to take care of 2 kids. She calls and tells me, how did you take care of 5? I only have 2, you know. Catherine even says once in a while, how did you take care of 5? I said, well, it's real simple. I had a partner who could watch 2 of them. I'll watch the other 3. And we did a lot of that back to back on the beach. And I'd yell out, I have 3. And she says, I can see 2, and back and forth. And that was fun to have the relationship like that. And anyway, Beverly is now in the throes of moving from Pasadena. Here, I don't know, a year or 2 years yet. She's been working on buying a house. She and her husband are buying a house it's still in Pasadena, but further over. And larger and more modern. And they had a lot of work to do with that thing. It was an old house, and they have a lot of things to do. And every time they go to touch something, it's not right. You got to go call the city and work with the city, and you got to do different changes and this and that. So anyway, she's talking about eventually putting in a room upstairs in the attic, and that's the last thing that they're working on at the moment. And so maybe Viv and I will go up there and spend a little time in Pasadena.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But anyway, she's doing what she always does. She grows, she works. She's extremely musically inclined, just like her sister. Both of them, although Beverly studied more music, and Catherine was just a natural in that sense. Are you aware that a strain of redheadedness goes through our family at all? Starting with Catherine, I guess it was. Oh no, I'm sorry, starting with my wife, Marlene. She was a redhead at one time. In fact, that's what they called her, When I married her, she was called Pinky. I didn't like that, so I said, no, your name's Marlene, and that's what you're going to be, Marlene, to me anyway. If any of your friends call you Pinky, I won't object, but I didn't like that, personally. She came to me with a different kind of nose, and she was encouraged by both myself and her father to have the operation. And she said, yes, I'm going to do it. So she had the operation to straighten it out and make it more, I'm convinced it had nothing to do with health. It had to do with feeling confidence in your face. And so she had that done. And while she was recovering from it, oh, why did I ever have this done? It hurts, this, that. Anyway, water under the bridge, it worked out fine over time. I don't think she was permanently mentally scarred by it. She lived with it and looked much better because of it. So anyway, back to Beverly. She's a very nice lady, and I think she did a good job coming out of the mental anguish of having the two kids and being able to handle them. Very difficult situation for her personally. Her demeanor wasn't set up for it. And so she had to reinvent herself. I think she has, and of course, as they've grown too, I think she's been able to work out pretty well. So that's the 5 children.
Great.
To this date.
Great. Do you want to ask some questions now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll switch with you.
Okay.
You're getting hit. The lens is getting hit.
No.
Okay. It's
As
good.
long as it's not hitting in right here, it's
Okay,
fine.
good. There's there's a little bit of light on your face, but that's fine.
Nice to see you, Jacob.
Hey, how's it going, Grandpa?
Last time I remember you, we were traveling down the road, and I was in Jacob. How's it look out here? What? Oh, okay, Grandpa. Okay, Grandpa. But you were playing your game on the little machine, whatever it was you had. I say, can't you look out a little bit to see where we are, what we're doing? No, you had to have your game going. So that was what I remember a lot about the trip, about traveling with you. It wasn't anything that we were doing, it was what you were doing. And you were focused on what you were doing. That was your focus. And as you grew older, we went on other trips, a lot of trips. And like remember talked earlier about Hershey, that's one. And I know they had a slide down a big slide right into the pool. Remember that one at all? And one we couldn't go in, it was so dirty. One pool we wanted to go in, they had trash in it, like. So we couldn't go in, not at Hershey's, but wherever we were. We went to different parks at one time or other, as I recall. And anyway, we had a good time together whenever we were going. And then you came into Vivian's house and visited me. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was neat. We didn't have too many conversations. We just enjoyed each other's company as such. We didn't get into depth of anything specific. Although I did think some of your ideas at that time, you seemed to express a lack of interest, a lack of comfort with the way the government of the United States was run. Maybe I'm taking more out of it than what you meant, but it seemed to me you weren't happy with that at all. And I was thinking maybe because you're younger and a lot of people, I'm trying to get ahead and I'm trying to do this and that, and the government is always doing this and doing that and doing something else. So it could have been bothering you, and you didn't realize it. But in your discussion with me, it seemed like it was important to you, that particular thing. So, what are your thoughts? You want me to tell a joke while you were thinking?
What are you interested in my thoughts about?
I'm sorry?
What are you asking me?
I'm not asking you anything. No, I just want you to express you're thinking about our trips. You were there with me.
Those trips were definitely some of the highlights of my childhood.
Good.
Trips in the motorhome.
Yep.
I think that there's just sort of a contagious enthusiasm in you and Gramarine that I really liked being around.
Were you with me and the other kids too?
A
Or
lot
was
of
just
times it was just the three of us.
three of us? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sometimes it was the other
I was
kids,
trying to
too.
picture somebody else, but it was just you, the three of us. Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah, and I think coming from being an only child, I didn't feel like I wasn't engaging in what we were. To me, what was best about being on the trips, I think, was just the absorption. And
Was
if
what?
If it seemed like I wasn't absorbing like a conversation or making conversation or like looking out the window, I still felt very much like I was absorbing the personality.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I stop you guys for a second? Because I'm filming you, and then you're starting to interview Jacob, and Jacob's starting to answer these questions.
Mm-hmm.
We could either put Jacob there, or you could do your interviews first now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why don't you just,
Yeah.
anytime Dad will be however he wants,
Mm-hmm.
but perhaps you should move it back into questions, whatever questions you want to ask.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. What stuck with you from your acting studies?
My acting days.
Yeah.
That I couldn't remember any lines at all. My whole basic of acting was, if I had a script, I'm comfortable. I didn't have a script, I couldn't remember what was going on, so I never got into acting, even though I took a class at UCLA, and I got out of it and went into a mathematical class, and then eventually I even got out of that. I just couldn't come to grips with a lack of intelligence, or lack of interest, or lack of.
Can you look at this and see? It just there's blinking stuff that's blinking, and then this, and then
Yeah.
those
So
two.
that's good.
Okay.
It means it's recording. It's recording to the memory card.
Okay, great.
And that's the live monitor of the audio.
Yeah, that monitor I had. Okay, for some reason I'll look back.
And then all these things will disappear after a minute.
Okay, good, great, thank you.
With regard to the acting, we had a couple of plays here at Casa,
Yeah.
where I live now. And in doing the acting we did, and the while I got in it, they allowed me as an attorney, I'm playing an attorney, I had, attorneys are writing on paper. Well, I'm not writing on paper, I'm reading my lines, picking up the lines, so I didn't forget them so much. And I got a compliment from some of the cast. Good job, okay. I wasn't satisfied with it, I did the best I could. I probably will not proceed with that anymore. It was enough, yeah. I'm not comfortable with it. If it was just a thing, the sport thing, Sam goes through the line and he crashes into this guy and that guy hits this guy, I can understand that. But to do an acting and come up with lines, it's heavy for me because I don't remember the line, and I'm supposed to give it something. Well, you can't give it something until you get into the character. Once you get into the character, you got to remember what he's supposed to say. Now, if it was improv, I did a little bit of playing around with Julius. I would throw out something, he would throw something, we throw it back and forth a little bit. I could go with that, but I never know how it's going to come out. I just go with whatever it is, and that's kind of fun.
How do you feel about having an outcome from acting or from improvising where...
I missed the thought.
If you were... how do you feel about not knowing how it's going to come out?
Oh, I don't care about it at all. It doesn't matter. Improv is that what it is, and wherever it's done, you look at it and say, "Oh, gee, that was great," but you'll never do it again. You can't. Improv is to me whatever it is at that moment, and it won't come back again necessarily. You know, I mean, maybe people that can remember something, maybe they can come back with it. Because with them, it wouldn't even be improv. They would know what the lines are and what the lines are, and they would interact. But with improv, it's you making it up as you go along. It's complete this side of fantasy. And improv can be, I guess it can be real, but it's basically some semblance of fantasy.
What's your favorite part about throwing this stuff out with Julius?
The favorite part of it is to come up with something to put him behind the eight ball, where he can't come back. He can't come his stint to come back, and the best part of it is when he throws something at me, I can come right out with exactly wherever I'm going to go, with nothing related to it there, but I pick up whatever he's got and I run with it.
You feel? Do you feel like you like the challenge of coming out from behind the eight ball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gives me something that might be a serious challenge, and I have no problem with that at all. I enjoy it, yeah, because I'll just take it wherever I can take it. You know, if it's high in the air, I'll bring it down to land. If it's on the ground, I'll take it up in the air, or go swimming with it, or motorboating, or whatever it takes.
This seems to be that sort of ready for whatever life throws at you seems to be a common, or like a skill that you have cultivated in yourself and perhaps had your whole life. Do you remember cultivating it?
I have no idea when I come up with some idea. I just know that I like to kid around, and sometimes I come out with lines that people don't like. Not very often, but usually they may not laugh at it, but they don't feel uncomfortable with it. Neither do I. As far as kidding around, joking, things like that, they see something, I take a word and I twist the word around and I throw it back at them, and I enjoy doing that.
Have you ever felt like you were in a situation where you couldn't kid around?
Oh yeah, sure. Death. Somebody died and we're there at the funeral. No, I'm not kidding around at all. I feel very sad for the people and for everybody. I don't have any strong religious beliefs specifically, but I don't feel like I want to insult anybody that do. To me, this conversation is improv.
I memorized a script earlier. Did you grow up with any? You've had contact with people with religious beliefs in your life.
Oh yeah.
Did you feel like you didn't, like it was useful to them, but you did not have a use for it?
I'll bring you back to the fact that as a kid, I knew that there was the church, and I wouldn't walk in there. Nope, I don't go to church, and so forth. I knew we went to temple from time to time, but it wasn't strong, and I was apathetic toward it. Oh, Grandma's going to temple? I go to temple because you're going to temple. We're going. So get dressed up and we're going. But as far as religion in general, the older I get, the more I am convinced. I can't say there's no God, because that's the same person who says there is a God. So my attitude is, if there's a God, wonderful. If there isn't, that's okay too. If God, in all her wisdom, moves the sun across the sky, I'm happy with that. If God, in all her wisdom, doesn't want to move it across the side, but it still goes, I'm happy with that. So I take it as it happens. But as far as believing in God and saying, yeah, not interested at all. Not even close. I think it's absolutely a farce. As you get older, many people revert to religion because religion is where you're going. I don't believe it.
think about where you're going?
You mean after I die?
Do you have thoughts about? Yeah.
I actually believe in the back of my head there's a possibility of reincarnation. You'll have to show me and make me believe it when I see it. If I come back as something else and I say, hey, I remember me, I'm not me anymore, I'm somebody else. Okay, I'll take that as a thing, if I really know it. But you see movies that have a lot of themes like that, different ones, and that's interesting. I enjoy the movie. I really enjoy the movie. But as far as really believing in any of it, no. Nope. I'm happy with this life as it is. I would like it to be better. I'd like this arm to feel better. I'd like the back to feel better in this actual body. But I've felt, and sleeping sometimes, I felt like I have an out-of-body experience where I can look down and see myself sleeping. And that's okay if it's real. I don't know. It just could be just a dream. I think the most people that come up with anything religious are, wow, this is happening. I believe it's not happening, personally. I mean, one of the ladies there says, the other day, the bed was shaking because I was thinking of my dead husband and this and that. He was there? No, he wasn't there. I mean, to me, if she's happy he was there, then for her, he was there. Do you believe he was there?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't have a belief about it.
Okay.
All I know is this story anyway.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a, sort of a letting, not caring what people believe, what they,
Well, I definitely care about people believe, because people who really believe in the Bible and not the fact that Jonah, everybody lived in the whale. I don't believe that. I do believe that if God says you should be good and comfortable, honor your mother and father and all the good stuff like that, that I believe in. I believe that everybody should believe in those kind of things. In fact, I really feel do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I believe in that very much. I do as much as I can toward that goal. Is that if everybody in the world did it, we wouldn't have wars. Be no wars. Nobody wants somebody to shoot a bullet at them or drop a bomb on them. Nobody really wants that. And I like the idea that maybe if everybody thought, well, let's not do any bombing with somebody. Let's not bomb them. Let's not shoot them. Let's not kill them. Yeah, but they believe blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't care what they believe. If they don't drop a bomb or don't hit us and don't shoot us, I don't care what their beliefs are. In fact, I don't even know what their beliefs are. They're in a different language. Many people are in different language. Today we're talking about North Korea. That language, I don't understand that language, but I don't know when I'm shooting bombs, especially at the West Coast where I live, and missiles and so on. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to shoot any missiles at him either. But I know one thing. I feel in the back of my head that if he starts a missile, we're going to send a lot of missiles over and blast the heck out of him, and it's going to echo around a lot. And that's not good. That's not making me happy. I mean, I've lived 88 years, but I plan on living another 30, which would take me to about 120. I'd like to get there. I don't know if I can make it, but I really have done everything I can with this body I've been given and the genes I have and the vitamins I can buy, putting it all together. And I'm able here to sit here and talk to you and actually think a little bit. Thinking to me is very important. I don't do enough of it. I really don't. I get distracted by life. Life is moving and I can't think fast enough to keep up with life.
What does it feel like to be around people who are so much younger than you?
I love it. I really enjoy it, especially ladies. Yeah.
Because it's after 5, why don't you ask 2 more questions for this session, and then we can get you back on later.
Yeah, younger people. I really enjoy it because, in fact, many times I'll talk to a younger person and say, come on out. I make sure Vivian's right here that I'm not making a proposition to you younger people. I want you to come out, and Vivian and I will have you at our table, and we'll talk about what's happening in your life so I can learn what young people do. That's number one. Number two, and maybe you have a grandparent or somebody else that wants to move into Casa. I get a commission if you tell me who they are and they come in. So that's why I want you at the table as our guest. Vivian and I will have you as our guest, a lady or a man. I talk to a lot of people that way. And it goes for you too. Anytime you want to come and sit at the table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be living at Casa with so many people of comparable ages?
Well, it's definitely comparable. The average age is 83 or 84, and I'm only 88. So that's middle age to me. That's middle age. Right. Middle age, yeah. Especially if you're thinking in terms of 120, that's definitely middle age. The key ingredient is that I look over the people there, and when I see them, I see all shades of people. Some of them standing up pretty straight, not a lot. Most of them are bent. And I say, I don't want to be bent. I'm fighting like heck to be straight up and not be bent over. And it's not easy, especially now with the back hurts a little bit. But it's a lesson to me. There's another lesson I recently learned. They came out, and in my place they want to make a little, she wants to check it out for safety. Oh, you got to get rid of all these throw rugs. Throw rugs. Well, I went into a real explanation why the throw rugs will stay. And she said, what do you mean they're going to stay? No, they're dangerous. I said, yes, they are dangerous. And they scream at me every time I see a throw rug. They're yelling at me, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you down. And so I talked to this leg, I talked to this leg. I said, this leg, you get up and over it. Don't you stumble over the throw rug. And this one. And I have throw rug here and one there, one there, one there. And each one of those, every single time, sometimes I scrape a little bit. Hey, pay attention. That's a throw rug. And I did the same soliloquy to this lady. She's okay, we'll leave him for now. Well, it's true. It's not something I dreamed up and don't follow. I follow it. Every time I see one, especially I'm telling you, the lesson will be even stronger next time I go in my apartment. I'll see a throw rug, especially the one in the kitchen. The kitchen slides around. If it slides, you're not supposed to make it slide. If you lift your foot, it won't slide. It won't slide if you do it. It only does this if you push it this way. So to learn the things that are dangerous and how to handle them is, to me, is very important, especially in the fact that one of the key 3 lessons you have to learn at Casa: do not fall. Next one, do not fall. The third one, do not fall. And when I came into the Casa, I fell twice in the first 10 minutes on the staircase and in the apartment. And in the apartment, there was a person from Casa there to interview me or to tell me what's going on. And when I fell down, she called security and the health people, and they were taking my pulse and everything. I thought they were going to cart me away. So I've learned, at Casa, do not fall. Plus, if you're outside, the cement and the asphalt is hard. You don't want to hit it. So I've learned, do not fall. I just got to be so careful with those legs. They have to work hard. And by the way, as you get older, they don't work as well as they used to. They really don't. And so you have to remember to, in fact, that's what I was doing, some of the exercises in the gym room, where they have leg extension was one of them. The other one is leg press. It's a different one. Pressing up against like this, lifting 50, 60 pounds. Leg extension, 50, 60 pounds. Those 2 for the legs. And then, of course, they have the bicycle.
Okay. How about we stop this session now? All right, one more quick question.
Okay, go for it.
What does it feel like to stand up straight?
It's a strain. It is very much of a strain. And I'll tell you something. I have an exercise I do constantly. I know that when I bend a little bit, I'm not always sure how bent am I. I go right up to the wall, put my belly and chest on the wall, and by that time it's straight, and bring the shoulders back, and I know I'm straight. Now how long can I hold this for walking? Wait a minute, let's check this wall. Let's check this wall. I don't walk too fast because I'm checking walls constantly. The walls are always straight. I am not always straight. Sometimes I can go up the wall and I am straight. I've held it. But I'll tell you something, it's a real job, a real work of art to try and keep that body straight. When I lay down in bed or I'm sitting up like I'm sitting up now, I'm not straight. I'm definitely not bent, but I'm resting. I'm actually resting, but I should be sitting. Well, this was terrible, but to sit up straight like this. And that happens to be painful at this point because the back is damaged or hurt with some reason. I don't know what it is at the moment. That's it.
What is the what does it feel like to even for just a moment, to master the work of art and be standing up straight?
I really enjoy it, except for the fact the pain is there at this time. Before the back went out about a week or so ago, before that, it was fine. It was easy to do. I could just bring it up and hold it for a while. And now it's more difficult because every step is painful where it wasn't. Breathing and this particular one, if you turn around, I'll tell you exactly which one is going out. There are two of them. This one was killing me, and it healed up or something, but this one is really right there, right in there. Must be something, a muscle or something, and it's very painful. At the moment, it's just painful, soft. But every so often, when I do it wrong, or just now when I try to get up, it could be the knife comes in, and that hurts. It really hurts, because immediately you got to react to it.
Okay, so you're going to cut?
Thank you for the interrogation.
Would you like to